Hey, how did our moms do it? How did our grandmas? They had like 10 kids. Hi everyone, welcome to my Mama podcast. My name is Sharon. I'm a pharmacist and a mom of 2 little boys.
Hi, my name is Meagan. I'm a chiropractor and also mom to a very little girl.
The reason why we started My Mama podcast is because even though we're healthcare professionals, we don't have the answers to everything. There's so many unknowns in the realms of motherhood.
Yes, to me, I think motherhood is messy, it's real, it's raw, and at the same time, every mother's journey is unique. Yes,
Cool. I agree, completely agree.
So we started this podcast because motherhood is crazy. I would say crazy. Yes, and we know that if we feel crazy, there's gonna be so many more moms out there who feel the same way. And we thought that since we are both healthcare professionals, we both probably can share a little bit more on things that maybe we think might help you, maybe some things that might be useful for moms and future moms out there.
And it's interesting that we're healthcare professionals ourselves, but we don't know the answer to everything. And we have like run into so many walls before ourselves too, right?
Yep.
So this podcast, it's going to be raw. It's really for every mom out there, every mom to be out there. Like, we're not trying to teach you anything from a healthcare professional perspective, but more so as 2 moms genuinely wanting to share our experiences and wanting to create a safe space for all moms out there.
Yep. Speaking about that, I think after I became a mom, I noticed how women generally evolve after being a mom. At least for my circle, since I became a mom, I got to know more mom friends, you included, right? We become so much more expressive, I guess, supportive, and there was like, even until now, there is no judgment on, say, the problems that we go through, that we run into, or like whatever that we go through as a mom, and you share it with like a fellow mom friend. Oftentimes, it comes back with either advice, like good advice, or like you just feel so much more comfortable right after you start talking to a mom.
Right. It's a really completely different kind of vibe since becoming a mom. Like, it's that switch right there, right? Since becoming a mom, what was that one point that really surprised you feel?
I think early motherhood, like when baby just came out from the womb, and you also just basically came out from your own womb. I would like to think about it
Like a rebirth.
Yeah. I think I didn't know how it felt like to lose so much control.
Right. I felt the same way. Yes.
Like you are just thrown into this
Right.
black hole of uncertainty.
Yes.
And I don't know, at that point of time, I felt like it took me forever to climb out from it.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
Really, same. I remember the first 2 weeks were just like a blur. Like, I can see your eyes.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I couldn't even remember till today, like, especially because I have 2 kids now. But like, the first one was where the big switch from just being a girl to a mother.
Yeah.
And I gave birth pretty young too. So like, the first 2 weeks, I really can't remember how I survived it. Like, it's just like Liam was there. He's there, and I'm looking at him like this stranger, like that just came out of me.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Aw.
This stranger
I'm
just
sorry.
it's okay. No, this is real, right?
I
This is
didn't
real.
expect this to happen.
No, this is real motherhood because I remember at that time this stranger came out of me and I'm supposed to love it, and I told you this before. I don't think and I don't feel like I love this stranger until like, it all started settling in after like a month or 2.
Yeah.
Like, that first month, it was just like my world went upside down. Like, I think that's when like most women get postpartum depression too.
Yep.
You're thrown into this new role. You're supposed to know how to feed this baby. You're supposed to like wake up, and the overnight. We used to be able to sleep like 8-9 hours.
Yep.
No problem, right? Close your eyes, go to sleep, wake up next morning, like refresh. But like suddenly you just went through like, well, what I would say a traumatic birth experience. Like, you know, you have to go through the birth and everything. And then out of a sudden, you're supposed to like wake up every hour to like 2 hours to feed a baby and change diapers, the endless diapers. Remember those days?
Oh, yes.
Endless diapers, and they can poop on their clothes, on you.
And they cry.
Yes. And the crying wouldn't stop. And you're so exhausted. And it's really mentally challenging. Like, you're so exhausted to the point that you're just like, wow, what am I doing? Like, you're really fully on survival mode. And at that point, it's really like, I don't know what to do anymore. And that's when, thinking back, that's when I realized, you know, women nowadays are put in this situation where we don't have a whole village to help us. Unlike, you know, we think back, sometimes we're like, hey, how did our moms do it? How did our grandmas? They had like 10 kids. Like, how did they do it, right? Like, and we had one and we're just like, wow, this is, it's a lot. But thinking back, you're just like, how did they do it? You know, but if you think deeper than that, it's the village. They had a whole village. They had their moms, their in-laws, their cousins, I don't know, aunties, whoever they are like helping. But most women nowadays are working moms. Right, it's a whole different story for us, you see. And I think that's why, you know, it's really important for us to bring up this topic where, you know, moms now, you cannot compare moms nowadays to how moms lived before. Like, you're, like, for yourself, right? Like, tell us a little about how you live as a mom, especially that early few months, right? Like, as a working mom and as an entrepreneur mom. It's really different, you know, for someone like you. Like, it's you can't you don't just like you know, give birth to a child and have someone help you. It doesn't happen. It's all on your own, right?
Yeah. For me, especially at that point of time after I gave birth, I can't seem to, I don't know, maybe it's a word called compartmentalize my life, because I was just so into just taking care of my daughter.
Like a tunnel vision.
Yeah, and you can't think about anything else. But at the back of your head, something keeps telling you, hey, why aren't you doing something about the business? Why aren't you doing something for whatever that you've created before you gave birth to this baby? And it's hard.
And I think there's also that like societal pressure, right? Like, where, you know, you're supposed to take care of your, you know, just because you became a mom, don't give up on your career, right? Like, there's that societal pressure, and maybe the society doesn't really care that much, but it's us putting that on ourselves, like, because it's been kind of like our, well, at least for me, it was, you know, work and like what we are known for, you know, our profession. It's kind of like our identity before we even had a kid, because motherhood is a new identity. So out of a sudden you get this all new identity, and then you're just like, okay, I'm losing my old self, right? I'm losing this whole another identity where this motherhood identity is like taking over everything else. And that's where the mom guilt comes in, I feel like. Do you feel the same?
Well, for me, I think it wasn't so much of the mom guilt yet. I felt more of the mom guilt after I started going back to work.
Okay, makes sense.
So after a bit of backstory. I was with my daughter for about 7 months before I decided to go back to work full time. Not really full time also, but at least just be back at work. And the day that I dropped her off at daycare, that first day,
how much did you cry?
I cried like somebody died. Literally, I was like, oh my god, this is so horrible. What is she gonna do without me?
Completely understandable. Like that was me when I dropped off my son at kindergarten.
So
Yeah.
and then right after that, I felt like I am such a terrible mom
Oh.
because like what type of mom does that?
Oh
Gosh.
See, this is the problem. This is why are we putting so much pressure on ourselves? Like it's not I don't want to say it's not fair, but it's this society image of women having to, be 100% at work, 100% taking care of the kids.
Yep.
And there's this, I don't know if you feel this, but I feel so guilty after a full day of work and then I go home and it's my, my shift to take care of the kids, right? And I don't have the energy to like entertain them, to really be there for them. And I just want to sit there. I just want to scroll my phone. I just want to just be there. Like I don't have that extra energy to like, sit with them. There's this image in our head. We're supposed to read a storybook or two, like every night and then like build Legos together or whatever. Like, but I couldn't do any of that. And that was, I think, one of the hardest thing for me to go through. That's where the mom guilt kicks in. It's like, wow, I can't be 100% at work. When I'm at work, I'm thinking about them. When I'm at home, I'm thinking about work. Like that's, I think, something that a lot of moms don't talk about. And I think it really affects all of us mentally and it transforms to our body, like physically too, right?
Oh yes, definitely. Like since becoming a mom, like I started to connect to more moms as well, not just in my circle of friends, but also I got to talk more to moms, not seeing them as a mom in the first place, but now I see them in a different light and we connect a little bit more differently, whether they be a seasoned mom or a mom, a pregnant mom who's going to be having their first child, and talking to them, you get to see what it's like in their world, and you understand them better.
There's that deeper level of understanding and connection.
Yes,
right?
yes. And then you go and then you talk, right? You talk about your lives, how you're doing, and of course these people come with pain, right? Or discomfort most of the time, especially when you're talking about chiropractic in Malaysia. So people usually come to us with pain. And so for example, it's a mom with 2 kids with pain, and then when you look at the reason to why they're having pain, it's because physically you're just...
How did they get there?
Yeah.
Remember my twisted pelvis or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy what moms do to our own bodies.
Right.
What we are willing to do to our own bodies, I would say, or what we're willing to let our bodies do when it comes to childcare.
We should totally have an episode of like Meagan just explaining to us what happens to our body, bone structure, everything, when you're pregnant, right after you give birth, and like the recovery process. Like we need an episode, and I feel like most people don't know what a woman's body goes through. Like, because some people make it look so easy, but it's not because it's easy. It's because, they don't have a choice, right? So like, we need one of that.
Okay. All right. Let's do that. Let's do that. But yes, I can go on and on and on about it because, oh my gosh, babe, it's crazy how we are so willing to just do it. It's so instinctive for a woman who has a child to just do it for their own child.
That's right.
Okay, Sharon, reality check. All right. I think the worst part when it comes to being a mom, especially when when the kids are still young, is when they get sick.
Oh my God. Tell me about it.
Yeah. Like I remember the worst part was when Dasha, when she felt sick, and I was like also sick. That's the worst part. That's
the same for me. Like, remember the COVID period? Oh my God. I remember Liam caught it pretty young. I think he was like 9 months or so.
Gosh.
Yeah. And we all had COVID at some point. So the whole family, but the kid comes first.
Yeah, of course.
So like we're over here, adults having 39 degrees Celsius fever, and the kids over there like crying and screaming, and you still gotta drag on your body and tend to the kid. Like you don't have a choice,
Yeah.
Yeah, like tell us about your experience too.
Well, when Dasha first fell sick, of course, when it comes to daycare, kids just fall sick all the time, right?
That's
it's
normal.
Like you're donating to daycare. Your charity cause
they
daycare.
come back with a different virus every week.
Yeah. So when she fell sick for the first time, she actually got admitted.
Oh wait, I remember that. Yeah. Tell us more.
And I'm like, wow, this is happening to me. I didn't know that this could happen to me, and so she was very, very sick.
That was the RSV, right?
I have no idea. No, it was bronchopneumonia.
Oh
Yeah.
That's what Liam got too when he got hospitalized.
Yeah.
But from RSV though.
I have no idea what V came in. But yeah, the whole point was that she was admitted, and I was just done. I think.
But were you okay at that time?
At that time, I was still okay. But just being so physically and mentally and emotionally exhausted over that past 10 days was like, I was just like, thank God I'm not sick at that point of time. If I was sick, I tell you, jalat dah,
No, interestingly, when your cortisol levels, so when you're really stressful, right, your body doesn't know how to fall sick. Yes, it's interesting. But when you're more relaxed, you suddenly fall sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's our body's, I don't know, the immune system works that way. But that's an interesting science fact, I guess. Yeah.
To a pharmacist, you have like pearls like that.
But speaking of like sickness, I just want to share a story, right? Actually, I've encountered so much of this where in the pharmacy, so many parents come in with like problems with their kids. We see, common cold, whatever, flu. And it's like, because we're on the topic of like fever, so I just want to bring this up. Like a lot of medications, they may be in different forms, but they're actually the same medication. So too often I run into a situation where like parents come in and be like, hey, I gave this syrup, but there's also this suppository. The fever is still going on after an hour. Like, so I gave another suppository, but lo and behold, it's the same medication. So in practice, we run into these situations, and that's also part of the reason why I feel like we wanted to start this podcast, is to share little experiences like that with from our profession, where we can, share some helpful tips and some helpful information for parents out there, not just moms, parents out there, to help, with their kids. Just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's good because at the end of the day, when your kid is having a 39 or 39.5 degree fever, and you're like, what do I do now? It's 3 a.m.
Yes.
All you want to do at that point of whatever that you're going through is to have, number one, some answers.
Yes.
And I think number two is your peace of mind.
Right.
Are you doing the right thing?
Right.
Because crazy what 3 a.m. thoughts can give you, know?
And I think 3 a.m. Googling is quite dangerous.
It's a black hole.
Yes, it's like, I did that before too. But it happens to so many people. And I feel like because we have this healthcare background, so like we panic a bit less. Like we can kind of pick and choose, okay, whatever Google is saying, like this part makes sense, this part doesn't.
Yeah.
But for like the general public, or like most people, it can get really scary.
Yeah.
Like, okay, should I go to the ER now? Like the fever is 40. Should I go to the ER right now, or should I try something? It's like 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. Should I sponge first?
Yes, exactly.
How much do I sponge?
Like with what? Interesting. I have seen people like sponging their kid with cold water.
Oh gosh.
Yes, and the kid screaming and everything.
Scar them for life.
Like, exactly. So it's little tips and tricks like that, that I feel like you need real moms to tell you those things. Like Google is helpful, but
ChatGPT can be helpful.
Yes, but you still need some real life advice, right? So that's, I think, one of the biggest reasons we wanted to start this podcast.
Yeah. So anyway, now that we are at the end of it, maybe we throw in a question. If you're watching this, let us know whether or not there has been a specific time in your motherhood journey where you felt the most overwhelmed, or if you have any questions about I don't know, what questions can we answer?
Anything.
Yeah,
anything
anything.
from like mom reality, parenthood reality, to like any healthcare advices that you're looking for, any future episode ideas that you have. We're open-minded. We're all ears, and we're here to create this community where we can all support each other.
Yep. I think at the end of the day, that is what we need. Yeah.
Yep. So thank you for tuning in today, and we hope you enjoyed this episode, and see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.